Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I always appreciate it. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. In honor of Mr. Robert Redford, who passed away at the age of 89 about 2 weeks ago now on the 16th of September 2025, this is my tribute to the man, actor, director, humanitarian, and overall class act. He was a Hollywood legend that got his start back in the 1960s, appeared in the old classic black and white Twilight Zone TV show. It was in so many great films, movies like Brubaker, Out of Africa. He was in A Decent Proposal, The Great Gatsby, The Way We Were. We all have our favorites, and so I'm going to go into my top 10 Robert Redford films. Number 10, Spy Game. Came out in 2001, directed by Tony Scott. Robert Redford plays an aging CIA guy who goes in on his last day on the job to find out that an old protege of his, played by Brad Pitt, has been captured for espionage in China. This is a great cat and mouse spy thriller with a great music score. You got excellent Tony Scott direction. It's just cool to see Redford in a part like this in a Tony Scott film. It has a great fast pace to it. The majority of the story is told through flashback as we see some people at the CIA interviewing Redford's character about his protege, trying to justify leaving him in the Chinese prison to rot. All the while on the down low, Redford is doing everything he can to get his protege out of there in time to clock out for the day. One of the coolest plot lines in a movie I've ever seen and ever seen executed. I really dig this movie. It's so much fun, and it's a movie that I highly recommend. It's one of my favorites. Number 9, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969 film from director George Roy Hill. Also stars the great Paul Newman, who is a real scene stealer no matter what movie he's in. We also have Catherine Ross from The Graduate and The Stepford Wives. She's the love interest to the Redford character in this. And this movie is filled with so many great classic Western moments, shoot 'em up moments, robberies. It is about a couple of outlaws in the Old West, and so they get themselves into many sticky situations, and the fun part is watching them trying to get out of it, like getting cornered up on a cliff and having to decide should they stay and get riddled with bullets or just jump for it. Number 8, Sneakers, came out in 1992 from director Phil Alden Robinson. This is a very fun caper heist movie with Redford as the leader of a group of professional techno thieves that get paid to steal things and infiltrate places to find the cracks in certain facilities so that they can harden them. It's a lot of fun. It's a cool concept. This flick has a great cast. Sidney Poitier, Ben Kingsley, the late River Phoenix, Mary McDonald, David Strathairn as their guy in the chair who just happens to be blind, and Dan Aykroyd as this paranoid conspiracy theorist who, if you ever saw his interviews on UFOs and the paranormal, makes perfect sense to see him in a part like this. But yeah, this is one of the great techno thrillers of the 1990s. They made a few movies like this back in the day, but for me, this is one of the better ones. Number 7, Jeremiah Johnson from 1972. Redford plays the title character who is burnt out on war. He just got out of the Mexican War. It's the mid 1800s, and all he wants to do is get away and become a mountain man. And he meets another guy, this older guy who is kind of a veteran mountain man, who shows him the ropes of how to trap and hunt and all that stuff. And then later on, Redford's character goes out on his own, and then he gets into his own little adventures. It's a man versus nature story. It's a man versus man story. There are bits of action, but it's not really an action film. It's more of a drama with a great Redford performance. And because of the setting with the Colorado Rockies and the snow everywhere, you might get cold while watching this movie. It's one of those type movies. I know whenever I watch something like The Hateful Eight, I tend to want to bundle up and grab a blanket. But yeah, this is just a very good film about a guy that's just trying to get away from everybody and do it his own way. And I think we can all relate to that kind of thing. Number 6, Barefoot in the Park from 1967, directed by Gene Saks, based on a screenplay from Neil Simon, based on his play. This is a great romantic comedy where you have Robert Redford and Jane Fonda as two newlyweds who spend about 6 days at the New York Plaza Hotel having their honeymoon. And then after that's over, time for reality to set in when they move into their new apartment. This movie has some very likable supporting characters. You have the great Charles Boyer, one of the big stars of the 1930s and 40s, as the very memorable Victor Velasco, a neighbor who is kind of an aging playboy who they try to hook up with the mom of the Jane Fonda character in the film, played by character actress Mildred Natwick, who is a real scene stealer and has some of the best lines in the film. In all honesty, I find the Jane Fonda character to be very annoying throughout the course of this movie, and I know that it's because of the way she's written and because Jane Fonda is so good in the part that it's convincing, But she's this free-spirited person that is just starting to show her husband what she's really like. And so because they just got married after not knowing each other for that long, just watch this movie feeling sorry for Redford's character. But it's still a lot of fun, and I enjoy a good romantic comedy. Number five, All Is Lost from 2013 from director J.C. Chandor. You have Robert Redford out on a boat in the ocean just trying to survive. And that's it. Another survival story. Man versus nature. Also, man versus man, because every now and then the guy looks like he just wants to give up. And, it's Redford as an old guy, so it's kind of hard to watch him go through all this stuff, getting all wet and getting flipped around and having to get back into the boat and trying to keep the boat from capsizing as all these waves are crashing on him. It is very intense, it's captivating, it's sad at times, but it's also very inspiring to see somebody a lot older than I am not giving up no matter what life throws at them. And something like that is a very powerful message because when things get hard, a lot of people just want to lay down and give up. But you got this old guy that just keeps trying to live. That's basically like saying, you know what? Give me all you got. Give me your best shot, nature. No matter what, I can take it. And that's very, very comforting to somebody like me that is still going through life, trials and tribulations and all that. So, I think it's a good message for anybody, young or old. Number four, The Last Castle came out in 2001, directed by Rod Lurie. I love a good prison movie. I love a good military type movie and a good action movie. And this combines all those elements into a great and entertaining package. Redford is a military guy, a lieutenant general, who is found guilty of a crime and sentenced to a prison, a military prison, where the warden is played by James Gandolfini. There's corruption in this prison, inmates die for the wrong reasons, and now it's up to Redford to expose the corruption and bring down this place and maybe even take it over with all the inmates. It's a very exciting story. Great performances from everybody involved. You have a young Mark Ruffalo in there. You got Delroy Lindo. You also have an excellent music score from the great Jerry Goldsmith, who has made some of the best pieces of music in cinema ever. I love the music throughout this film. And yeah, it's a very fun, exciting story. Great characters, great drama, some good action. And yeah, it's a good time. Highly recommend it. Number three, 3 Days of the Condor from 1975. From director Sidney Pollack. Robert Redford plays a CIA analyst who is at work and goes to lunch and comes back to find his colleagues murdered. You got Uncle Ben in this movie, Cliff Robertson. You got Max von Sydow. You got the very talented and beautiful Faye Dunaway as our leading lady who gets caught up in Redford's situation and ends up being an ally. You also have great moments of tension, danger, excitement. You got a little bit of action in there. I love a good paranoia thriller, and the 1970s had some of the best ones ever. This movie definitely fits that category. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I highly recommend you check this out. It's a great film, one of my all-time favorites. Number two, The Sting from 1973 from director George Roy Hill. This is just a fun movie about a couple of con artists trying to get even for something that happened to a mutual friend. You got Paul Newman and Robert Redford once again, a great team up going up against Robert Shaw. Because our two main heroes are very likable and they're also con artists, it's a lot of fun to watch them operate with style, with humor, and it's also a lot of fun just to see them going for the big con. Even though there are two main leads in this movie, I can't help but feel whenever I watch it that Paul Newman is so much damn fun to watch in this part. It looks like he's having a great time playing this role. And so because of that, he kind of steals the movie for me at times. But that doesn't mean that the great Robert Redford doesn't hold his own, because both of them together always are so much damn fun to watch. All right, here it is. Number one, All the President's Men, directed by Alan J. Pakula, came out in 1976. This is one of the greatest films ever made. You got Robert Redford as Bob Woodward. You have Dustin Hoffman as Carl Bernstein. Based on the book by the real-life Woodward and Bernstein, who also served as technical advisors on the film, this movie chronicles their investigation into a little theft that happened at the National Democratic Committee headquarters located at the Watergate Hotel, where five men were trying to break in and steal some stuff that didn't belong to them. Some secrets and stuff that they wanted to use for their advantage, or somebody that was really high up in the White House that ended up resigning not that long after. Between the both of these guys, a lot of legwork was involved in trying to get to the truth and asking questions, interviewing people that are afraid to talk, and of course the government breathing down everybody's necks, and these guys are scared because they know they're being bugged. And At one point, they find out their lives are in danger. It is a very wordy movie. It is, after all, an investigative procedural, but I find it mesmerizing to see that two guys at the bottom uncovered something that led all the way to the top and brought down one of the most powerful men in the country. Personally, I think history is very important, and if we don't take a look at history, if we don't try to learn from it, then we're just doomed to repeat it. And we have to stand up against injustice. We have to fight against tyrants. They could do it back in the 70s. We can do it now. And honestly, as much as I hate to get political, if you're someone that doesn't like hearing that, if that pisses you off, well then, bye-bye. Kick rocks. I don't need you or your sub. Take your MAGA hat and get the fuck out. Like a lot of people, I am mortified when it comes to the state of this country, but we can't lose hope. We have to keep fighting. We have to keep trying to expose corruption, no matter how high it goes. Woodward and Bernstein taught us that, and it's a lesson that we must never forget. So that's it. That's my top 10 Robert Redford movies. I apologize for getting a bit preachy there at the end, but when it comes to a movie like All the President's Men, I think it kind of merits that kind of discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video and for helping me to pay tribute to one of the great movie stars of all time, Mr. Robert Redford. He will be sorely missed on the big screen. Rest in peace, sir. And what's your favorite Robert Redford movie? Go ahead and leave that in the comment section. And if you want to leave me your own top 10 movies of Redford, I'm always curious to check that stuff out. If you're still here and you're not all pissed off and you're into this kind of thing, if you're into classic movies and you're not subbed to the channel, please go ahead and sub, leave a like, click the bell for notifications, and don't forget to comment, share, all that stuff, and look out for my next classic movie review. Until then, I'll see y'all. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.